Cutting Kayla's hair was a personal challenge for me in my career because I'd never done a haircut on this type of texture before, especially with this shape. The influence of the Motown era 1960s was the big push. I spent about 45 minutes blow drying her hair with Park Avenue to get it to a point where I could actually do the haircut, which was quite simple, looking at the shape, cutting it in. And as you'll see, we varied the looks a little bit, but it was an absolute pleasure to do something like this for me. So I hope you enjoy it and maybe you get to do your own. Here we've got Kayla. This was an early consultation at the studio in the morning. I've got my casual clothes on, but she's natural hair and a lot of it. When I saw her at the casting, I just loved, she'd cut her own bangs and amazing kid, just I think she's about 18 years old, but I asked her if I could do like a halo, like a bowl cut, and she was up for it as long as she could, style it herself, and she does go through and blow dry her hair and does quite a good job with it, but she's got all these sort of like just rough ends that need to be sort of sorted out. So my idea was that we'd do something cross between a sort of 60s halo and a 50s sort of Sharon Jones and the Dap-Kings, like that classic Motown kind of look, because her face just inspired me to go with these kind of looks. And it's always the same, you've been collecting these influences and references for years, so when you see a kid or anyone who kind of fits into that, and you can start to work and see if it's going to be applicable for them, because obviously she doesn't want a halo, then we'll work on something else. But you can see that texture, it's mad. And my first job here is to straighten it. I got to smooth it out, so I'm going to put my suit on, because I always love to wear a suit when I'm cutting hair, because it's the respect of our culture, and just it just makes you not like a uniform, but you're at work and you want to sort of bring a sense of professionalism, and not just because I'm filming it, but because I think it's very important to the way I like to cut hair and the perception of who I am as a hairdresser. So I always like to just add a little bit more. So now we've set the lighting, cameras, I've got my suit on, she's got a nice dress on, and get on with this blow dry, because if I'm going to do anything that is straight, then I have to straighten it first and get to a point where I can actually see my line. And as I was saying earlier, she does straighten her hair, so it's not like I'm forcing a haircut on her that she'll never be able to do. So versatility, name of the game, because you can see there, sort of showing Amanda what I'm going to be doing to get this halo in. So, and it takes a long time, blow drying this hair out. You can't sort of rush it. So you could start with flat iron or whatever way you want to do it. Here I want to test the strengths of my products. I'm going to use Park Avenue. It's a blowout balm. If it does its job, we're in good shape. So here's a great way to test a blowout balm and a smoothing product, because if it works here, it'll work anywhere. Here actually I've got the later version that we just got in from New York, so I'm going to use that, and it's closer to the actual finishing packaging. Shaking it around. Going through, got a fair amount in my hand. I've got a lot of product to get in here because the hair's very dry, so I need the moisture, and make sure I have even application, roots to ends. As you'll see with me, I put a lot of product in. These films are, they're for education, to show you my process. They're not really the classic sort of step by step where every section, I think for me, my audience is beyond that. You know, we all can cut hair, and if we can't, we shouldn't be watching these. Well, maybe for inspiration, but at this point, you know, I want to go in and show a little bit more of the process, the thought process of what I'm thinking about, why I'm doing things. I think that's very important for hairdressing these days. So getting that all the way through. Looks kind of good there. So yeah, I mean, could she use the blow dry balm, or could she use the Park Avenue straight to her hair? Absolutely. Slick it back, put a beanie on, you know, do hat hair. Lots of options, you know, but she needs a lot of products. Although when she did come to the casting, she had this great little hairstyle. I think if I can find a Polaroid, I'll put it up. But she'd blow dried the bangs, and the rest was super frizzy. So it was this great contrast. And I'm just pinning the back up so I can get into the front and start there and start to work my way through. Just combing through, getting that little bit of product off her forehead. So I've got the hair in a position, tied it back so I can see my sections. I'm using my little brush, the beard brush, to get through here because it's got great grip, and got my jacket off because I've got a lot of work ahead of me here, and going to sweat it out a little bit on this blow dry. But the goal, get this shape, get this hair as smooth as possible, and then we can start to see what sort of shape we can do. You know, we've got that idea of the halo, so that's the goal. So I'm just going to work through. I'm going to speed this up because you don't want to watch me blow dry hair for an hour. But an hour, what an investment, because the end result, as you'll see, the value of that, you know, time doesn't matter. You take whatever it needs to get you to a place where you're comfortable that you can do the haircut. So we can speed through here. And sorry, just before we move forward, you know, you'll see me start with this little brush, and I'll move to my round brush. But I just wanted to get those roots, and quite a big brush. So I want smooth, and then just a little bit of bend on the ends. So got through the blow dry, put the do-rag on, sort of pressed the hair, and now we're ready for the haircut. I mean, Park Avenue, pretty cool. It's got that hair. It's shiny, it's healthy looking. What a difference a product can make. And it's a true test of the quality of the product too. So now we're going to start on the haircut. And it's, you know, a halo, but it's the illusion of it, you know, because her hair just doesn't naturally fall into this shape. So it is a little bit forced, but it's well worth it. And, you know, we're going to end up with something quite square through the back, so she can wear it almost like a bob, or she can blow it into the round shape. You know, again, versatility, name of the game. And products allow us to change hair textures, and that's what they're for. You know, when they do their job, we do our job much better. Let's take that first section right through the sides and start to get that shape in there. The bangs are pretty much there, so I just want to strengthen them before I work through into the sides. And larger sections, you know, I've got a sort of side section here, and just following that shape. Can't really see that, but trust me, we're working in that shape. I think you see it on the other side. So solid lines before we start to break up over the top, because I need the haircut to be versatile, so it shouldn't all be one length either. So going in with the bangs, and I always try and leave a little center point with bangs that makes them look a little bit squarer. So I just angled my fingers down a little bit there, But you just see the quality of the hair is fantastic. And it just allows me to see exactly what I'm doing. So now I'm just chipping, I've got that first line in, and I'm just going to chip the second line in. So it's a little bit, it's the illusion of a line. It's not always a dead line, because our hair, it's going to change every 5 minutes. So I want that ability to have the versatility. And you can see it's really, I got to use my eye here, the looking and judging where that line has to be. Here I'm going to square out the back a little bit, so that when I come down with the angle, I've actually got a little bit of a corner, because I need that for her other looks. So chipping in that line. And working right through, pulling the hair forward. Yeah, you can see exactly, just cutting in that line. And make sure we've got all those ends off. So I've got the shapes sort of roughed out, and the next thing I've got to do is work on just the hairline. When you're doing these sort of shapes, when they're a bit shorter, I always try and take the hairline a little bit shorter underneath, so a bit of an undercut, because the hairline can interfere with the shape too much. And here I've just taken a section from the curve of the head down to the ear, and I'm going to cut a little sort of, almost like a little bob section there, or a little square section, because when I actually do it and style it later, I want to have like the look of a bob, like a 1950s Motown sort of artist, Diana Ross. So that part there, even how simple it was, is so important to the way I want to style the hair. And I think when we think, sometimes we think of the style, the finished look, before we do the haircut. It really, allows us to put in all those little bits that make up a great haircut. And we should do that with models. We do that with models, where you kind of hide bits so that when they're on set and the hairdresser's working, there's that little nice piece that just appears that allows the variation. For the client, again, the same thing. When they start to experiment with a look, then they find these nice things that just work, that they're just not going to get at a $4 hair salon. 40, but I don't know, whatever it is. Here you can see me a little bit closer, working, just getting that shape in. It's the shape that's bowl cut, halo. First section was hard. Second section just chipping into it, so a little bit of an overcut. So I always drop it a little bit more than the last section, just for ease of styling. Getting rid of the underneath and dropping it over here. Same again, and quite rough there. You see that the lengths are quite long, and we just clean that up. So each section is a little bit longer, so that the last one will just tuck in. I'm going to go in and sort of work into the inside of the haircut later as well. So knowing that is what's going to happen, it just allows me to do that. So coming up, the shape's in my head, and that's what I'm working to, and working down to that corner. Just finishing up my line. I've still got the back to cut, I've still got the inside to cut, but here again, just do that little section underneath, and that's my variation. And it's one section, and it seems like nothing, but it's so important, as I start to style the hair. And for her at home, having the versatility. So just get my line sorted in the back. So now we're going to work on the inside. The hair was layered before, so I have to go and just clean up all these ends. It also works really well when she's doing her own hair, you know, that all these ends are gone. You know, we're not trying to force a one length look here, because we'd be kidding ourselves if we thought we could, you know, she can walk out the door every day with this haircut. Making sure that the hair is really nice and clean and all the ends are cleaned up. And just starting with that middle section, I'm just going to push it to around the top area. Getting the quality of the hair back, getting rid of all those ends. Here, just finishing, checking up, making sure there's no long, dry pieces. Hair looks good. It looks great, and you know, as I get my fingers in it, I can start to work on different shapes. We've got a mirror there, so she's looking in the mirror, feeling quite confident about her hair. It's funny when you don't have a mirror. Sometimes the model just gets it. You know, they feel that it's just right, and that's a great thing. So. Checking all of my lens, look at that side bit. Make any adjustments, but even that's very cool. You know, it's got that great fluffiness to it, and thanks to the Park Avenue, that's what it gave us. So using the dryer, blowing through the hair, just checking the shape. So here, just use my hands, I'm going to brush it, I'm going to use my R+Co to get some height in there, and just see what I've got in here. You know, I've got this little baby brush there at the front, smooth it out. Outer space, I'm going to use some Continental and get that sort of 50s Motown look. And you know, this is fun. This is experimenting with hair. You see me actually laughing through that because I'm using an R+Co, which is kind of nuts. But you know what? That's how I do things. You know, just the way I want to have fun. You know, it's just styling hair. It shampoos itself away. So, and it's that sort of, you know, she's already been at the party. My looks are never sort of gone to the party. They've always sort of there or afterwards or next day. See me with the Continental there, getting it through, a bit more shine in the hair. We're getting ready to take photographs, so you'll see the results of this. And working with my beard brush, just getting those sides in it we'd undercut before. And this is the best part of the haircut for me. You know, the haircut is quick, it's done, but now you get to exploit the textures, the lengths, and that's what hairdressing is for me. You know, it's where I can just explore my references, my mind, and get control of the hair. That's what I'm doing here. You know, I'm going to put a couple of little kiss curls at the side there on my undercut, and she's going to get some more makeup on, and we'll get on set and take it from there. You know, just making sure I've got the hair in a place, a texture that once I go on set, I'm not coming back here. You know, I need to be able to continue and change the looks. So, there we go. And we're out.